Naarden Vesting is a jewel, situated in beautiful wooded countryside and in the center of one of the few remaining star-shaped forts surrounded by water. The town has narrow cobblestone streets, pavements of red brick, and historic buildings that are architectural gems. Naarden dates back to 887, but over the centuries storms caused flooding, which resulted in the village being rebuilt in a new location on higher ground where it remains until today. One of the best preserved fortified towns in Europe, Naarden's star-shaped fortifications, complete with bastions, moats, and double walls, are a sight to behold. The aerial view of Naarden is awe-inspiring, but walking through the well-preserved gates and along the ramparts is an equally impressive experience. During the 13th and 14th centuries, a couple of monstrous storms swept over Holland. Hundreds of thousands acres of land were washed away, and a giant inland sea was created, the Southern Sea, Zee der Zee. Like many others places, the old town of Naarden, also heavily damaged during one of the many wars of the time, was abandoned and given to the sea in the year 1350. Surprisingly swiftly, the refugees created a complete new town, a couple of miles inland on higher ground. It rapidly became the regional capital and a prosperous merchant town and center of textile industry. In 1572, the city was sacked and burnt down, and only 60 people survived the massacre of Naarden. The massacre was committed by Spanish soldiers against the townspeople of Naarden as part of a punitive expedition against Dutch rebels, later known as the Spanish Fury. The destruction of the city galvanized the Dutch rebels, leading them to continue the Dutch War of Independence against Spain. The moat and walls have been restored on numerous occasions, most notably during the French era, 1795 until 1814. After the Battle of Leipzig, 1813, the Netherlands were liberated by an allied force of Dutch, Prussian, and Russian armies. During this period, Naarden was besieged for months since the French commander didn't believe that Napoleon was captured. In May 1814, the French soldiers left the city in a retreat with honor. After the siege with Naarden back in Dutch hands, the fortifications were completely redesigned, and Naarden took on its characteristic star shape. The new fortifications were completed in 1685. Since then, the fortress has remained virtually untouched. The 19th century was a period of great technological advances, not least in military technology. These developments had a profound impact on the design of fortifications. The introduction in 1860 of rifling, i.e., helical grooves cut into gun barrels that cause projectiles to spin, had a massive impact on the range, accuracy, and penetration power of artillery. Unprotected masonry structures were easily destroyed. To protect walls and buildings from artillery fire, they were covered with a thick layer of protective earth. After 1873, all the buildings built in Naarden were designed to be bomb-proof from the ground up. Only the monumental facades were left visible. These faced away from the attacker and were out of reach of enemy fire. The heavy artillery of the First World War marked the end of Naarden's role as a fortress, and the city ceased to serve a military function in 1926. Underground is a gunpowder room, and brick and mortar bomb-proof buildings covered with earth, casemates. Soldiers worked and slept here, patrolling a 61-meter listening corridor from where they could hear enemy movements. They wore soft footwear, no hobnailed boots, to ensure that no sparks ignited the gunpowder. The great church, Grote Kerk, in Markstraat dates from the 15th century. Prior to the Protestant Reformation, it was named for St. Vitus. It is one of the oldest surviving churches in the Netherlands, having had the good fortune to survive the Spanish invasion of 1572 and the subsequent burning of the town. The church has numerous wooden vaults that are painted with scenes from the Old and New Testaments. These were hidden for many years and were only rediscovered in a recent restoration. The church is the venue for a number of cultural activities, such as organ music nights and the biannual Naarden Photo Festival. The Spanish house, Spanse Huis, situated at Turfpoortstraat 27, was originally a church building converted to house migrants. In 1572, Spanish troops conducted a massacre of some 700 inhabitants who had gathered to hear a peace proposal. The Spanish then fired on the assembled citizens and went on to set fire to the town. A plaque above the lintel of the door and below the eaves commemorates the massacre. In 1615, after the population had re-established itself, they built the city hall on the site. Part of the building was given over to De Waag, the scales house, the municipal office entrusted with the verification of weights and measures. The building later served a French garrison as a bakery, turning out over 1,000 loaves per day. From 1967 until 1992, it served as the Comenius Museum. Today, the historic building serves as the Weegschaal Museum. Naarden is also the place where John Amos Comenius is buried in a mausoleum on Kloosterstraat. This place receives many visitors from Czechia, where he was born. Comenius is known as the inventor of our school system, with grades and different classes. Beneath the streets of Naarden lie hidden tunnels that once served as an intricate defense system for the city. These secret passageways acted as escape routes and allowed soldiers to move discreetly during times of conflict. Exploring these underground tunnels gives a glimpse into Naarden's intriguing history. It was remarkable, learning how this small country, constantly threatened by the sea, has harnessed it in ingenious and positive ways. Netherlands means low countries, and 50% of its land is barely 1 meter above sea level. Since the 16th century, 17% more land has been reclaimed from both sea and lakes. Great for cycling, but more impressive is how it was used for defense. This small country that was at the pinnacle of world trading in the 17th century now ranks 5th place worldwide with regard to prosperity, is the 6th largest economy in the EU, and is the 2nd largest exporter of agri-food products after the USA. Add to this their brilliant football team. They have played in more cup finals than any other country and are affectionately referred to as the best team never to have won the World Cup.